Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, woo.
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl, Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Do your hair. Let me put a perm. Let me put a relaxer in your hair. And not give you those scalp burns and the hair breakage. Or what? Y'all ain't like my skill. Oh my goodness. What? Don't hate. Don't y'all hate on my singing. What's happening, good people? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl Ladosha Wright, aka Key Lolo, coming to you live and direct because I just left the Rakim concert last night. That's right. I went to see the God.
Oh boy.
He blessed. I went to see him. I seen him bless the mic. I seen him do it. Here in Cleveland at the Grog Shop. Tonight, we got the dopest, the freshest, the illest, the trillest, the realest podcast about relaxer burns and hair breakage. We've got to talk about this relaxer. We're going to conclude it out with reimagining it. Yeah, we're going to talk about some ways that we can help you guys out. This is going to be a hot topic tonight. Something about the relaxers continues to draw people in because the hair oracle, that's who that is over there. Y'all come on in. They ready for this one show. They coming in this building like, woo, this scalp is on fire. She said, come on. Remember Rihanna, come on in. Yo, that Rated X CD, if y'all ain't heard that by Rihanna, that one is fire. Check out Rihanna's Rated X. I don't think she's going to be doing too much anymore. She's taking care of those children. That's one of my favorite CDs, by the way.
Really?
I love Rihanna. I wasn't, the young folks get you on to Rihanna. Young folks get me on everything.
I love the Rihanna.
Yeah, but that's a nice CD. If y'all know about Rihanna's Rated X, sure. That was a nice show. The wait is over. The wait is over. Hey, you ain't seen nobody rock no Rihanna like them gay guys at the salon. Yep. Woo!
Wait a minute, you know, Rihanna got the best pass in the world. So they asked the queen of fashion. They asked Anna Wintour, who could be late to the Met Gala? She said, Rihanna,
the wait is over. The wait is over. Man, Rayshawn that used to work at the salon, baby. He used to kick that leg up in the air. Woo! Woo! I wonder what he up to. If y'all know where he at, y'all tell him I'm looking for him. That boy can do some hair. That boy can get it in. He can throw out what's going on, good people. Y'all come on in the building. We have something wonderful and exciting. This is probably the one that a lot of people are waiting for because, a lot of people left the relaxer. They was just like, them bars, them scalps. Some people was exaggerating. I said I wasn't going to say nothing. Selena, K, what's up, y'all? LB, you ain't got no baloney side, but I said I wasn't going to say nothing. Y'all better go watch the Miss Charlene. Yeah, y'all talk about them relaxers. And I'm going to tell y'all right now. I'm going to tell you. Now, we're not here to try to convince you guys to relax your hair. We have to continue to say that because people are like, Ladosha, because she a hairstylist, she biased. No, I am not, because I relax my hair. I don't have one, but if it get a little woo in the back, yep, I will slap some on it with this color. I said I wasn't gonna say nothing. I said, yep, I put relax on color treated hair. I said I wasn't gonna say nothing. All right, y'all ain't gonna shame me. I said I wasn't gonna But yeah, so we're not trying. I have to say it over and over again. Now, to those of you who are new to the podcast, this is the dumbest. And when we say
Yeah,
dumbest,
and we do.
we do.
We do.
We do mean the dumbest. The dumbest shit that people say about black hair is shitting on them damn relaxed. That is the dumbest. Now, Cheryl said Ladosha. We're
Yeah.
not gonna say it can't be better. We're not saying that.
No,
But
it can't.
the dumb shit that y'all saying about these relaxers, are we here for it? Bring it. Bring it on. Come on. And y'all be scrolling our stuff. We see y'all out here stealing our content too. Just because we ain't no influencer, I said I wasn't gonna say. Like Key Lolo coming out the gate clowning.
No
That's right,
doubt.
because me and LB been up in here talking about these dang on bologna sandwiches and whatnot. What's going on, IMCFT? What's up, Lady Boss? I see you laughing because you know what I'm talking about. Y'all, what's up, IMC? Now, y'all know they just clowning on these relaxers. Selena, you know, we ain't gonna listen. We licensed professional. She's a cosmetic
That's right.
trichologist. I'm from the projects. Ow, where my yellows at? What project? Anybody up in the projects? Y'all come on, represent y'all hood, okay? Yeah, King Kennedy, baby. And I'm a
No doubt.
licensed cosmetologist. I work in the salon every day. And we see some crazy stuff said about these relaxers. And Kay, we just not having it, okay? Sandra, our virtual co-host, we're not having it. But we will have some of Lawana's roast beef dinner tonight. That we will have. But that dumb shit about them relaxers, I'm going to give y'all a couple of dumb things that we hear about relaxers that we're going to clear up. And we're going to do this in an organized fashion because I took some notes from when we did the interview with Mr. Alan Burr. Alan, we want you to come back. And we was hoping we could get Alan tonight. But he was busy, I take it. I'm going to hit him up again on IG and say, Alan, come back. Maybe he could join us Wednesday because we're not going to be here Thursday, guys. We're going to be here Wednesdays, okay, this Wednesday only. And we're going to be talking about advanced education for relaxers and perms, okay? They are different. All right. Now, y'all know I like to get it started. I make a big mess for Cheryl to clean up. Cheryl, by the way, in case y'all wonder, why does Cheryl get all of the prestige and the people from the hood? Now, listen here, we prestigious too from down the way. But there's levels to this situation, all right? Now, I'm going to tell y'all why Cheryl is the hair oracle. Here we go. Y'all take a picture of this now. These are the esoterics of Cheryl, intended for a likely to be understood by only a small number. Okay, a small number of people. So Cheryl has the esoteric, so because she understands. Now, everybody does not understand Dr. Amos Wilson. If you do, put that hand clap emoji. If you understand Dr. Sizemore, I'm sorry, Barbara, she's not a doctor, Sizemore, the late Dr. Amos Wilson, the late Barbara Sizemore, put the hand clap emoji in the chat. If you know anything about, now there's a Dr. Cornell West, come on, put the hand clap emojis in the chat. You do know about the hair oracle. What about French Fanon? Yes, the French psychologist. He was a rebel rouser. What do you know about French Fanon? Of course, Dr. Willie Morrow and Dr. Katie Wickham. If you guys know anything about these people, drop hand clap emojis in the chat because these are the esoterics. To me, now this is a Ladosha opinion, which are like cell phones. Everybody has one. You might want to make something like this for yourself, shouldn't they, Cheryl? So who makes you who you are? Okay. And you guys can screenshot this and drop your own image, but you need to definitely have something in front of you about who makes you who you are. Now we're talking about professional. So if you're wondering what makes Cheryl the hair oracle, it would be the essence of the late Dr. Amos Wilson, Barbara Sizemore, Cornell West. We have a private joke going. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I just added France Fanon to this. France Fanon wasn't in this at first, okay? And then I added Dr. Katie Wickham, okay? And then, of course, Dr. Morrow, okay? So that's what makes her the hair oracle. She ain't asked me to do this shit, by the way, because y'all know me. I give propers. I said I wasn't going to say nothing. Come on, y'all. Y'all better let me put that. They don't hear me though. Y'all like, don't show fire tonight. She must have got some burnt perm on her scalp. Yeah, we gonna talk about this. Thanks, y'all. The esoteric. I'll screenshot that and remind herself. And the reason why I know she has the embodiment of those people, because I consume all their shit. Yes, I do. And she's introduced me to a couple of those forward thought thinkers. Okay. This is true, y'all. And that's why we have some of the dumbest shit, because if y'all knew who these people were, and if you don't, please go find out who they are. Then you won't be making cockamamie statements about the relaxer. Now, not that they was not all for the relaxer. Let me just say that. We ain't about to say. Amos Wilson ain't never said nothing. He's had some things to say about the relaxer nine, and you know the Cornell West Angles, even Dr. Sizemore. I'm not saying that, okay? Because they don't like that stuff either. So again, we're not trying to convince you guys to relax your hair to like the relaxer. We're just here to talk about relaxer burns and breakage, and then of course talk about how we're going to move this needle forward. What does it look like? Because last night I told y'all I was up close and personal with the God. I had to you know when you go to a concert, you got to show off. If you know about Rakim, check out the bass, check out my melody. Turn up the bass. It's better when it's loud, because I like to move the crowd. Man, I was in DC when that shit. That was fire. Also, that's when I used to be real cute. I was a lot slimmer, but that's okay. Chunky but funky representing, baby. Did y'all see this? What about this, Cheryl? Hey, he won the Oscar. That's right. And he went to the restaurant. I forgot the name of this restaurant. And he went and got him some a burger. This how you know it's real project right here.
Wait. He went to what? Was that Roscoe's?
I know it was a burger place. It was a burger place. If anybody knows the burger place,
is that Fuddruckers?
No, that's not Fuddruckers. It was someplace. Somebody look it up for us.
So he went there. In and out. It looks like In and Out.
Okay. Yeah. So, he's so fine. Oh, good Lord, bless me. Anyhow, but I just wanted to show y'all that because I like when people just never forget. He said, I want to go around the people who paid to come and see centers and made this a real life experience for him to have it. I don't know if he ever dreamed of getting an Oscar, but I'm kind of like Will Smith, who lives in life not to become the best. I don't know. I know I surely do. Every year I think I'm like, I'm just not going to be relevant. I get some type of an award. I don't like to be bragging all the time, but goddamn. If I did win an Oscar, I would probably do something like this. So give it up to Michael B. Jordan. Okay, y'all. That's no small feat, because the competition is deep out here in those
okay.
In the acting world, okay. So you wonder where we get the Cornell West from? This young lady right here. My home girl, the former state representative in Ohio, Democratic candidate for Cuyahoga County Council, District 11, Shirley Smith. Meet and greet, drinks on me. Woo, woo. Come on now. Meet us up at Milton's Lounge. Come meet and greet the candidate, okay? And see what she's talking about running for the Cuyahoga County Council. But if y'all like, I don't drink. Okay, no problem. Y'all know Kilo. Bam! We got pancakes for seniors. Hey. That's how we do it, y'all. RDT. Yeah, we hosted Seniors and Syrup. Free pancakes and some little sausages. Okay, we're going to be over at that breakfast place. Y'all better come and get some of this free food and come meet the candidate. Shirley Smith is going to be there with some pancakes. Y'all know y'all say pancakes, okay? Flapjacks. with some syrup. You don't have to put syrup. You can put some butter on it. Some people don't eat syrup. It's okay. Oh, by the way, this restaurant is the bomb. If you haven't ate there, geez, sure, when you come back, I'm taking you to this restaurant.
Please do.
I promise you. It's a little small, like diner type situation. I'm telling y'all, this food is off the Richter scale. And that's going to be next Wednesday, March 25th, at that breakfast place. Come on out and meet Shirley Smith, the one who coined. She actually was the first person to call Cheryl.
And it wasn't in a loving way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, y'all know Cheryl big ass words. She was like,
shut your Cornell West ass up. That's exactly how she, you know.
Here we go. In case y'all think we lying. Here we were. There we go. We were down there. See, y'all think we be perpetrating the fraud out here in these streets. We out here trying to get this bill in Ohio to get y'all some education on these relaxers, okay? That's a Republican, by the way, in the Senate, but still, this is not a bipartisan situation. But there she is right there with the Cornell West esoterics, okay? Key Lolo over there representing the projects and the real life cosmetologists who out here in these salons doing this thing every day, okay? So we had a lot. This was a great warm-up, all right? What you think about that warm-up, Cheryl?
Love it. Let's get it rolling.
Last one. We got give you one last one. Cheryl now I didn't know about this situation till Cheryl told me about it. Let me know what y'all think. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Jamal Bryant addresses ending Target boycott backlash. Oh, let me just say this. I ain't gonna stick on it long. Thumbs up or thumbs down on Jamal Bryant? Right quick. Come on, y'all. Let's get involved. Thumbs up or thumbs down on Pastor Jamal Bryant ending the Target boycott last, because the lady who founded it, I'm going to let Cheryl tell you all about it. When I tell you, she ripped. I forgot their names, but Cheryl going to give y'all their names, but he was one of them. And I'm telling y'all, when the pastor got a YouTube, what's that thing up in there? That little thing that tells you got a lot of followers about something that's not churchy. I don't know, Pastor. It says, let's be clear. So Cheryl hit that. I'm telling y'all, put thumbs up or thumbs down on Pastor Jamal Bryant. What were the other two people's name that she ripped? Oh man,
Nina, I think it was Nina Turner and Tamika Mallory.
She's from Ohio. And Tamika who?
Mallory.
What's that? Tamika Mallory. And what was the attorney's name who called them out for being the frauds? Let me get it right. Tell me her name, because I know.
Nakima Levy Armstrong.
Nakima Levy Armstrong. Y'all go check out this interview on Rolling Mark. When I tell you she ripped him a new. Oh, wow. She was, it's a painful interview to watch. Let me just tell y'all now, this ain't for the faint at heart. But in a nutshell, as we get ready for our topic, our 195th episode topic about relaxer burns and hair breakage, when I tell you Nakima Levy Armstrong, she's an attorney, correct, Cheryl?
Yes. Out of Minnesota.
If you listen here, I didn't even know attorneys got down like that. I did not know. I don't mess around with the law. I don't be trying to go to jail. I'm a chicken, okay? But this attorney, when I tell you she ripped his off, and basically what she said was Pastor Jamal Bryant, Tamika Mallory, and Nina Turner ain't got jack shit to do with that boycott. They jacked her movement and tried to make it seem like they were the progenitors of it instead of the bullhorns. Now, I'm not saying that that's what they did, because I don't know. I don't follow Nina not that much. I like her. You know what I'm saying? She's a cool person. I don't know her personally, but I have met her. And when I've met her, she was the bomb. My aunt loved her. She let me take pictures from my aunt. So personally, she's definitely on point. I will say that about Nina Turner. I don't even know who Tamika Mallory is, though I did hear Tamir's Wright's mom rip her butt open too. And I have no idea who Pastor Jamal Bryant. So I can't really say nothing personally about them as far as if they started the boycott or how it's getting all confused. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Nakima Levy Armstrong says this guy here, when it comes to that Target boycott, he is a fraud.
Out of order.
Go check it out.
As Miss Chrissy, I said I wasn't gonna say nothing.
I said I wasn't gonna say nothing. Yeah, now we're not saying pastors can't. Pastors do a lot, y'all, but they say he was out of order. Okay. All right. Okay. Great show last night, Yate. All right. I missed it. I was at the concert with the God, but that's okay. You gonna let me get a pass on that one. I could not miss the R. Okay. All right, so let's hop into it. Tonight, 195 episodes in, we're all about relaxer burns and hair breakage. And I want to say it again because I don't want y'all coming in, because if y'all say this in the chat, I'm gonna eat y'all up. We are not here to convince you to relax your hair or even like the relaxer. If you don't like it, you just don't like it. But maybe you're here because you want to understand more about the relaxer as a consumer, because Thursday, we're going to talk about it from an advanced education perspective, right, Cheryl? Yeah. So Thursday will be more for licensed cosmetologists and barbers, and even your natural hairstylists who may have customers who are going to come out of the relaxer for braids and locks. So this one on Thursday you would like, okay? But tonight it is for the consumers, because the dumbest shit that we hear about relaxers is that they're just bad, they're toxic and all this stuff. So with that being said, I want to pick up off where you ended with our interview with Alan Bird. And you said something that I think is a good place to start this podcast off with. It's the misunderstanding of Afro hair. So what I want to do is show like 3 pictures. And I'm not saying that these are not real. I mean, people took the pictures, but I don't know if they are responsible for the captions, okay? Meaning the people in the pictures. So these are the 3 most common things that we hear about the relaxers, but we know that people don't understand Afro hair. So I'm going to show the pictures in no given order, but if you could just kind of help people understand Afro hair and why that texture is a good candidate for relaxing in spite of these images that I'm about to show you. Now, these are not, I didn't touch them up. I just went to the internet. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here's the first one that we see. If you've experienced a scalp burn, especially from a chemical relaxer, hot tools or harsh products, here are some recommendations to promote healing. So that is supposedly from a relaxer and hot styling tools. And if you want me to bring these images up as you talk, just let me know. Okay, that's one image. Here's another image, because we're talking about you just don't understand. You're putting the stuff on your hair. You may not understand the hair. Oh, we see this one every day. Good Lord. We see this one all the time. It's a relaxer. You broke out it's damaged. When you burn my scalp. Shit, I want to say that. So the relaxer damaged my hair. Oh my God, I had all this texture, and look at my ends, they all uneven. The relaxer made my hair break off. My hair was down the middle of my back, now it's to my shoulders. I don't want to say nothing. So let's start there with people don't understand the hair, and maybe they don't understand the relaxer, so we can put them two together. Okay,
right. The first picture is from, yeah, sure. That picture is actually original. It originated maybe around 1990.
God.
I would probably say about 1997. That is that's not a chemical burn client. That's a another type of burn that is actually showing what burnt skin looks like when you get caught in a fire. That is not. It was propagated to be used to explain chemical burns, because if you have first of all, chemical burns don't give you that much evenness of a burn.
Wait a minute, hold on. Now y'all know this mofo. I'm sorry, sir. I don't disrespect when I call you mofo. I'm not trying to disrespect you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I know she a real hair oracle when she called out the picture. And
No. Yeah,
now,
that picture. That's an old picture. Yeah, that's a very old picture.
Oh my God! Now, see, I didn't think it was relaxer burn. Now that I'm not gonna tell no lie, but
we're gonna say a chemical. We're gonna say a chemical burn because we don't know what it is. But she is a burn patient, not a salon patient, because chemical that her scalp is literally cooked and burned, and that is not from any beauty product.
We got Sir Pooh, the one and only Sir Pooh. Also, y'all can catch him out in the latest movie on Tubi called Bread. It's a dope ass movie, y'all. It's dope. Grade B, but dope. Check him out. Sir Pooh, do you agree with Cheryl and I that this picture here is not from a chemical burn, from a relaxer? Cheryl, so you know that.
Yeah, that picture is about 30 years old. Yeah,
Wow.
that picture is about 30 years old. Okay. It's not. It is not. Synonymous with a salon servant. No.
Okay.
Or even a relaxer, because relaxer doesn't. If your scalp is that evenly damaged, that it just doesn't happen that way. But I do remember me and my dad discussing this maybe around in the early 2000s. And he was angry because they were using it to describe and trying to make it synonymous with relaxers. And it's that woman.
And I'm going to say this. This is why I don't take picture of people's faces for this, because some people say, well, why you don't show their faces? Because of that. So you're basically saying they've exploited. This was probably used for another purpose.
Right. It's not. No.
And I don't know if this is an influencer or a hairstyle. Perhaps you will address that in your response, because this
it is misleading. Yeah. Okay. It's a misleading, and they're not, and it's almost like it's the same thing as people are doing with video explainers when you're on YouTube, and they'll take what we call stock footage of another condition, and because they put it in the video, you thinking that it has some correlation, and it doesn't. No.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we got to start off there. We got to watch out, guys. Everything that we see is not real. Now, I thought the picture was real. I didn't think it had anything to do with relaxers, but see what I'm saying? I call myself a triple Negro, but it can happen to the best of us. All right. Okay. I'm just saying we got to be aware. So what is it about Afro hair and the relaxer? We already have a question for you too in the chat. What is it about both the hair and the relaxer that we don't understand? Starting with the Afro hair and then move over to the relaxers that you just think people just don't understand about Afro hair, the relaxer. Okay.
Well, I think that when we say the word chemical, and I want to make this clear, because we are in a class system, we are in a socio-political system, economics and commerce and capitalism runs the markets. We've got to understand that your beauty is utilized, exploited to be able to increase markets and profit. Inattention, eyeballs. It's designed that way. And obviously the number one seller for Black people, especially Black women, is the fear of not being informed or not being educated. And so when someone tells you something slightly sensational or exaggerated, or at that point your brain has to act. And so in our beauty supply aisle, Black women don't fawn. We don't even freeze. We respond, or we react. And we react by either, now that we have social media, we will get on, and this is the era of the review, or, I'm gonna give you a bad review, or something to that nature, right? That is what we call social media responsibility, or being responsible, as we say. But our misunderstanding of Afro hair is because it's not that the ruling class, Europeans, didn't cared about your hair. It's just the fact that they wanted to steer the profit. Unfortunately, that what goes along with that is miseducation. And so you learned everything. And that's one of the things too, you have to also, is a feature of natural hair care. Everything is juxtaposed and shadowed up against what it is that they don't like about something else. Instead of forming their own principles, their own values, their own science, their own foundational scientific findings, or their research, it all starts because we want to be in opposition or anti. And that is that, and all that means, and I hate to Amos Wilson everything, or Cornell Wells everything, but it does mean that your image, likeness, persona, your names, Tamika, Keisha, everything is racialized and everything is socio-political. And that's why it's important. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and you're going to tie that into the misunderstanding of the hair.
Right. But that's why you have a misunderstanding. We know we have a misunderstanding, but the why you, and then of course what happens is, just because you're Black, you think you're supposed to know. So culturally, we only stop at cultural understandings because we feel that there's no scientific understanding. So we start with culture and we end with artistic, which means a hairstyle, which means crown act. Or we don't push forward and say Black people don't understand it scientifically. And that's why when we were even doing virtual touring of Afro Hair Science at a summit, they're like, oh, there's a science? Oh, and so we got backlash from even beauty schools. Yeah, we got a science. Yeah. We teach science.
Yeah.
That's
people were
what that visceral reaction was about.
So can you run down like maybe 3 to 4? I know it can be a little bit in depth, but can you just kind of peruse your brain for maybe some common things that people get wrong about Afro hair, considering that this one is more for people at home? What is it that the consumer is getting wrong about the hair now that we have the bigger picture that this is social engineering, guys? The reason why we don't know our hair, we don't understand our hair, is because it's by design for us to not know this. And you're right, that because we get a very nasty response when we talk about your father's curly Afro hair science. They don't want to hear it. It's like, now I'm just going to say, before you give the answer, I was guilty of it. When Cheryl first told me, my inner my inner, and I cried. I did cry because I spent all this mother money on this education, and I trusted white people's knowledge over Cheryl's. And so a part of me was angry because I spent money, and I'm an honor roll student. I said I wasn't gonna say nothing. And when you get them damn gold stars and shit and them honor roll, it inflates you. It makes you, and I'm not knocking accolades. I'm not saying if you get the, all that valedictorian. No. You do need to be, awarded for your studies. But when it's wrong, it really hurted me. And I did not want to believe what Cheryl was teaching me because white people did not say that. I didn't even know it was social engineering. I knew what it was, but I didn't think it applied to cosmetology. I mean, I didn't. And so if you could tie in, now that we see the overarching, the social engineering, right? This is very deliberate. And then the fact that we as Black people, if we don't hear from white people, we say it can't be real because white people, meaning, So now with that being said, what are the common things that even Black people get wrong about their own hair?
Let me start by saying that here, once again, when you hear of Black people talk about the 16, 17, 18, 19, the 20th century, when you talk about the Black culture or Black myth or a Black person or Black ideology or philosophy, we put in what we call slavery. But I want you guys to realize two things. Two things happened. Slavery is and was labor, but then there's one big one that we never talk about, and that is consultant fees. You were consultants. You were the scientists. You were the doctors. You were the mathematicians and engineers and things. You just didn't do. You just weren't dumb and then just a labor force. And I want you to understand that also is a trick. Is to just reduce you down to labor. And I know we always talk about, well, we're free labor. No, yeah, their asses got free consultant fees too. They got free consultant counsel. That means that we were scientists, researchers, and all that good stuff. Okay? And so I want you to understand, if Uncle Nearest was too busy working, how the hell did he create liquor? I'm just saying, if he was just so busy working, because all of them weren't working. Not all of them, most of them, but not all of them. They were there to be able to invent and create things and make things in science. And I say that to say that is a myth, because we don't talk about what Black people actually did in their lives during the slave era. They weren't all just labor. They were creating what we call an economy. The plantation economy was huge, and that's where all these things come from. Hot combs, curling irons, and things of that nature. Liquor and medicines and herbs and those types of things. So I want to make sure that, because that is the foundation of the mythology. That's where we keep getting tripped up. So when we talk about it, we don't think that chemicals, where do you think we understood how to make lye? LYE. We think lye is a synthetic. It's not. It's in nature. Right? It's a nature thing. And it's important we think that it's, there's an organics, and then there's several wonderful chemicals, but we keep thinking that chemicals only come from a white guy in a lab coat. No, most of them came from a black person, a black woman, and a black man. And it happened in the kitchen, happened on the plantation, and they just were stolen and co-opted and then put it into the commercial markets. And so we
gotta drop the bomb before we get to this hair thing. Dropping the bomb on that.
And so it's important that we reconnect ourselves with science and chemistry and lab work and inventions and engineering and architecture. You know, well, Benjamin Banneker, he created DC. Well, what do you think he did it with? He was an engineer.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
we weren't being freely educated. And if we were, they saw that we were bright and they educated us so they can make money. It's just keep it simple. And so when we create relaxer technology and things of that nature, we keep thinking that we are, and I don't know if we want to say guilty, but we don't think that these things have a lineage or a heritage and it follows back to a dark-skinned person.
Mm-hmm.
It only leads to a white person.
So with that being said, now that we understand, just taking us through the succinctness of it, that, you know, the social engineering, if it didn't come from a white person, and the truth of the matter is we were consultants, we did this science. So how to show us how the social engineering have us confused about what we get wrong about our hair so that we can understand this relaxer burning hair breakage thing. So what are we getting wrong about Afro hair? Let's get to that.
Well, the first is there's a language barrier. Okay. Because everything.
Now, y'all take notes on this. Okay. Because I'm going to take notes too.
Well, and of course, I want you guys to understand that white people really didn't create what we call bad hair. We did that. Now, of course, we did it under duress because we didn't know that something was bad until we started grooming white people's hair. We didn't have a reference point of good or bad. All we knew is that their hair, regardless of how nasty it was, dirty it was, filthy it was, because we would have had a concept in our mind that that was bad instead of ours being bad, but we didn't do that. We have to understand that we get some of the colloquialisms because of our mistreatment and we don't have the proper tools. And so that one myth about assimilating bad hair versus good hair, it's all tied to a treatment or a mistreatment or a bad treatment. So when you're rising up in class and you're trying to create a group and a collective and you're trying to sophisticate and you're trying to raise the standards of your living and your quality of life, well, what you don't want to do is be treated like that. And so that is where it begins to we create words to describe the mistreatment or the lack of skills or the lack of the tools that are appropriate for our texture, so to speak. And so words like bury, which predated nappy. Nappy is just a slang word of the burrs getting caught in the weeds, and that we associated that with the balls, the lack of combing, the lack of grooming. And so we would tease each other on things like that. And then, of course, when folklore comes, we start repeating them. And so mythology, that's how myth in very detrimental, hurtful terms, but we want to be guiltless.
Okay.
And we don't necessarily have to be guiltless or or resentful or, or shameful. It's just that we have to understand the environments that we were in at that particular time.
Okay, so we have language. That's one of the things that's going to make us confused about our hair is the language that we use. What else don't we know about Afro hair, because we're gonna move this over to the relaxer
That,
again.
right.
So we
We
got the
don't
language.
know. Right. So if I were to tell you that if I were to teach you Afro hair science, I would have to go into geometry. I would
No,
have
I
to go
mean
into
for home. I mean, because I'm just trying to make it for the people at home.
no. I'm
So
getting ready to.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you a question. What are you saying?
No, I'm just moving through the conversation that we have language as a barrier, and now
We
you're
have
going
language
into
as a barrier now.
okay.
Okay, and so you said, why don't we know, right? And so we're listing
Mhm,
them, right?
mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
so if we were to learn, just like now, I don't know why you stopped me, but Black kids do learn geometry. I mean, it's not.
Mhm,
Don't they learn it in the hood, and don't they learn it everywhere
mhm.
else? Okay,
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
so it is integrated into our households. And I know
Mhm.
you want to. You ain't trying to dumb it down, or I don't know what you're trying to allude to.
No, I'm just trying to make sure we give them concretes on what they
Right.
are misunderstanding about this
Yeah.
hair so that they
Okay.
can relax it, because we know we got language. Now you're going to go into the your
Right.
spiel
And
on
so
right.
if
Okay.
we were to be in a classroom and to be able to, because most of these people that are listening now may not go to beauty school. Okay. So if we were to be able to give a free class, or like we did the town hall a year ago, right? If I
Mhm.
were to apply geometry, herbs, apothecary, or some type of this prescription, or we were going to organics and things of that nature, Black people think that if you are not talking about natural, then you can't talk about science.
Mm.
There's a slight trick, because science is connected to laboratory, and laboratory is connected to chemical.
How many
That's
people
just,
agree with
that's
that?
just how we think.
Okay, we try to help you guys out. Do you think what Cheryl just said is true? Do you see a big difference or a delineation, or maybe do you lean towards that
Yeah,
science
because
is
of
chemicals?
course, right? Because of course, when you start talking to Europeans and white folks, when you start telling them that relaxer technology happened on the plantation, they get real offended, because of course, what are you saying to us? Our thio, or our stuff came out of a laboratory. Yeah, I'm trying to allude that you guys took scientists and put them on a plantation. That's what I'm trying to say. You took smart, genius people.
Mm,
We
mm.
understood salts, science, alchemy. We understood that. Just like George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver he did go to a college, but he wasn't really college educated. There was no one to teach him what he knew.
Mm.
Where did he get that from?
Y'all
That's
want none?
because
Come
that
on.
information was ancestrally innate. He understood that. And so, and George Washington Carver did not make nothing in a kitchen. He did have an official laboratory, but he did have plants. He did have food. He had proteins. He understood proteins, which is where we're going to talk about the breakage. But that's a whole nother, we'll talk about
Okay.
that later.
All right.
But
We got
do
y'all
you
questions. We
understand?
got y'all. Yeah, we see y'all questions coming through. What we're doing right now, we're getting you guys to understand what we're getting wrong about the Afro hair, because that's what we see the
Yeah, we are
problem.
blocked with that lab. Boy, we get that lab, and we immediately put corporations, and we have these pictures in our mind. We don't see that on. I mean, and you guys can even Google Howard University in the early 1900s. They're in a lab. They are very much in home economics and engineering and things of that nature. We have got to stop the myth that beauty, hair care. I mean, Garrett Morgan was a world class genius. And by the way, we never talked about it, but let God bless his soul. But we did have, I think, the nephew or the grandson of Garrett Morgan. I met him at the Afro Hair Science Summit
Adam
in Ohio.
Adam
Yeah.
Morgan. Yeah, we're getting to you guys' questions. We're just working through what are we getting wrong about Afro hair, because this whole beat up on the relaxers, it has got to end. We're not saying, we're not saying that again, we have to clarify, we're not trying to convince you to relax your hair or like the relaxer. But as you can see, Cheryl is taking us through a very succinct step before we get to the actual fiber, which we're going to get there. That's why I was rushing you to the fiber. But she said, before we get to the fiber, we got to put some context on this situation so you guys can have a more robust conversation with people when they start to say things very bad about the relaxer, or people who relax their hair, or allegedly, like you said, this whole nappy, I hate my hair, you don't like your hair type of stuff. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we're understanding. Okay, so now what are we getting? You
want me to answer the questions now? You want to go? You want me
to keep, because those are going to take us over into the relaxer. Okay. So what else are they getting wrong about the fiber? They don't understand.
Right. They believe that relaxer changes something and then jumps out and it's rinsed down the sink. They literally think that once you apply something, it's in there. It's in your scalp. It travels. They literally believe that.
So let's take this picture. Can I put these two pictures up? So here is her hair. Let me just pretend. This was her hair before the relaxer, which is natural and beautiful. Where all my naturalistas at? Wasn't that wrong with her hair, Cheryl? Until she put the creamy crack in there, she got that.
Right.
Okay. Take it away.
Okay. So the mass part of that particular client's hair. Now, if the hair was down her back, how old do you think? Maybe 2 inches from her scalp, and then all of the rest of the hair. How old do you think that hair is? It's probably
back up. Let me put this.
I'll probably say it's about 12 years old. Okay,
right,
it's been on her head. Right.
All right. This picture here, everybody, she's asking, how old do you think this hair is? We're trying to get you guys to understand what you're getting wrong about, because a lot of people don't understand Afro hair. So she says, how old do you think this hair is? Okay.
Okay. So let's just say that you've had a shirt that you've washed over and 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 over again. And then you start saying, the shirt's old. I'm just going to throw it away. I'm just going to. Now, do you say the shirt is damaged? Or do you say that the hair is weathered? And it's just, you've worn it several years, and it's just time that the fibers are just dismantled, and they're altered in a way that you really don't like how the collar stands up anymore. The fibers are just old. And that's the same premise that we don't apply to hair, because we don't know that hair is a fiber. So that's the second myth. We don't understand.
So you're saying that this fiber and this fiber, put her up over here so y'all can see her. They're the same. One is just weathered more than the other. One was weathered with the chemical, and one was weathered without. And again, the chemical, remember, is coming from.
Yeah, but you have to also understand her process. Let's just say she did have a process, because we really actually don't know. Unless that's your client.
No. That is a relaxed hair. Yeah, that's relaxed
hair.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Will do. So, but if you look at the different areas, they don't all look the same. And so let's just say I used to wear a ponytail all the time. So when I would wet my hair back, the middle strip of my head would be straighter than the other parts of my head. And that's because, ladies and gentlemen, please understand that hair is like wool, it's like silk, it's like linen, it's like cotton. The fibers woven together don't get the same impression as other areas of the shirt.
So this explains why we see
Right.
different textures. So this is not damaged hair.
No.
Okay, guys.
Now, the hair closest, right? The hair closest to the scalp is curlier. The ends that have been on her body for like 10 to 12 years, it just gets the cuticles get rearranged, and you notice there's a part that's darker in this picture, and then the hair that looks lighter is a reflection from the flash of the camera.
Yes, ma'am.
That means that the cuticles are going in the same direction on those strands, and then the curlier strands are going to what? Going to
not reflect the light as much.
Not reflect the light. They're gonna suck the light out of the flash.
So also what you're saying that people get wrong about Afro, I'm gonna put the picture back up quick.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that all of these fibers are not the same length. Okay. Now, I'm glad you pointing this out, because I'm going to tell you right now, people will look at my hair and they literally think that all of these fibers are the exact same length. They will look at, here she is, Sasha Fierce, and they will think that all of Sasha's coils and curls, even this one coil, they think that every single hair or fiber that comprises of this coil is the same length, and you're saying, hell to the no.
And what do we call right? And what do we call that? When all the hairs, okay, and you showed a video maybe about last week sometime. Well, you did. It was the white woman that said, and you have frizz. Frizz means that you have 5 strands this long, and then you got 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Those strands that are not pulled, even with this little lot of hair, that gets called frizz, and that's our perception, right? And that's basically the misunderstanding that naturally all hair strands are not the same length.
Because this is the frizz, right? They will say, that's the frizz.
Right.
No, okay. So this is what we're getting wrong.
Or the afroness.
The afroness. Yes, this is very, very important, because this is why people will say relaxers are bad, because it messed up this and it turned it into this. Now, I'm about to be real messy right quick. Because y'all know I'm ghetto, right? Okay, I'm just a ghetto move. Okay. So is this still her natural hair, even though she put a chemical on it? Like, is Sasha's hair more natural than the relaxed hair? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Well, your natural status is not in the shape. It's in the genetics. It's in the state. You can't lose.
I gotta drop the bomb on that. Wait a minute, sir. You go your Cornell West ass. See, you be trying to dog me out of shit. See, this is why I be talking to her like that. Because she be getting too peace. I hear that. Yeah, I gotta hit the hand clap. Why we black people just don't understand. So you're saying, repeat that again. Now, let me show the picture again. Y'all better take notes on, because we do now.
We do.
Say that
we associate.
This hair is more natural. This is natural. And this hair right here is not natural. It's damaged. She's trying to be white. Excuse me, y'all. She'd have fucked her hair up. Now, y'all ain't gonna make me think look at her ends, especially over there. Look at all on her shoulders. This lady's hair, she'd have messed her hair up. And you're saying
in her mind.
And the
Right.
people who looking at it, I mean, hairstylists
Right.
would tell her,
Right.
a natural
Right.
hairstylist would tell her, and a cosmetologist, you have, and her mama or her uncle, somebody would say, girl, you done fucked your hair up with that relaxer because this hair is more natural than this hair. And you're saying, what about, because it's what we get wrong, right? About
the question is, what's the question is this: what do you guys think makes a black person black the most? Their color, their complexion, or their curl pattern?
Uh-oh. Oh, that's a good one. I can't stand the hair oracle. Oh, she just make me sick. Say that again. Y'all ask this. We got a lot of questions.
What makes a black person black the most? Their melanin or their curl pattern?
What makes a person the black? I would say their melanin.
Okay.
All right, let's see what they send over. We know it's a delayed response. Okay. What y'all saying over here on TikTok? Okay. I mean, I'm sorry, on Instagram. What makes a person black the most? The hair or the melanin?
The coil of the hair or the melanin?
Oh, the coil of the hair. I would tell y'all while I would say the melanin. My mother would say the blacker the berry, the darker the juice. And I'm blacker than you. I'm from the projects, y'all. I'm just talking about me. I'm not talking about everybody in the project. I said I wasn't gonna say
what
nothing,
makes a black person black the most? Melanin or hair texture? Hair texture.
Hold on. We got some responses. Ooh, y'all come on in. This is just getting juicy. The coil of the hair, melanin DNA. What's up, Ronchina? Hair.
What's up, Ronchina?
Okay, so we got it's the top. Wait, we got hold on. Let me see. Sure. Oh, sure. You're just getting us going tonight. Okay. The hair is winning. The hair is winning. It's the coil of the hair that's winning so far. Okay. No responses. William, what makes you more black? The color of your skin or the coil of your hair? So far, hair is winning, Cheryl.
Okay. All right. And the reason why I asked that, because when locked people, natural hair people, dye their hair, they want to say that the coil makes you blacker than you taking out your melanin. And when I'm saying, so if I were to just, a black person just would say, I'm going to bleach my skin, well, we jump up in arms about that. Well, why you don't love yourself? You know, we literally, and I was talking about the orphan mentality. We have so little to hang on to as a person in the world that we hold on to pattern more than we do actually what makes us dark and what makes us brown and what makes us beautiful or red or green or jet black or whatever the case may be. So in other words,
light skin did it.
Light skin, right? And so even if when Michael Jackson went through the leprosy issue, the vitiligo, you know what I mean? He still was black, even if you don't have a coil or you can't change the shape of your nose unless you like really cut it, chop it off and redesign it with cosmetic surgery. But didn't change that voice. We have to understand, where is the blackness? Where is it? Because we can't lose it no matter how much we change. And that we have to admit that we have to, like white people, politicize and socially and politicize ourselves, because we don't have anything else to hold on to. And we as a people, if I were to make sure that we put our hands on the right natural status, can you ever lose it? Because your hair is going to grow back even if you went bald. That shit going to grow back nappy. You can't lose it because it's a gene. It's a cell division. It's system. You are a Black person systemically, not just a color and a hair pattern. Yes, the great mother gave you dominant phenotypical traits, but you can't lose the system in your body that creates and produces the dominance.
All of
you can cosmetically change the dominance once you have it, but the state, when they say natural state, you can't erase your birth texture unless you keep going to the cosmetic salon and relaxing it, or you're never going to be born blonde. You're never going to do that unless, and because even Aborigines in Australia, they're born, that hair is a salt pH, sea salt pH change with sunlight.
Y'all
That's
better
being
go
in an
read.
alkaline environment.
Sorry, y'all better go read "The Bluest Eye" by Toni Morrison. Now y'all know I ain't gonna tell the story, but y'all know she wanted to change her eye color.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's Africans with blue eyes. I mean,
right.
and we have to get past that. And I think that
So
the relaxer gives us a reason to start talking about things that we really want to talk about. We just don't know how. Relaxer gives us that excuse.
So this hair is not less natural, and this hair is not more natural. It's just altered.
Right.
Okay, guys. So that's what we're getting wrong about Afro hair. Just because you alter it, it doesn't make the hair less.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. Don't y'all got to get a retouch? I mean, most people. Well, what are you retouching? You retouching that Afro because your system doesn't care about your personality and your hang-ups and your racial identity and your persona and your ego. Doesn't care. It's gonna grow the birth hair. And you're saying we need you to socially and politically show up to the party like you did at that natural hair show, and they told your ass couldn't come because they need you to physically show up a certain way because the Blackness of a Black person is social political.
I cannot tell you how many times, even in my own profession, people who come to the hair salon, they think that because my hair is flat ironed and it has color in it, that I'm definitely not Black. It happens to me probably twice a month. I do get that. And they rip me up on social media. How you up here talking about natural hair and you got your hair flat iron and your hair straightened out? I'm like, okay. Well,
they
we're
don't
hoping giving you guys some.
Right. They don't care that your hair is natural genetically. They care, are you supporting the social political look? And that is it's we are now white folks back to us. That's what white folks did to us. But now we do it to each other. And that's one of the things. And the relaxer gives us the it's almost like, what do they call it? Liquid courage. The relaxer is green courage, to say things to each other that we actually really want to say.
So we're definitely getting wrong about the science of the hair. We're getting it wrong with the language. We're getting wrong with understanding that what you see before your eyes, whether it's my hair or Sasha Fierce's hair or this young lady here in this image, all of these fibers are not the same length. There is we see a lot of questions in the chat comments that her ends are, that the ends, she needs a hair trim. Can you just speak to that right quick about
let's say she was my client. Well, let me ask you, why does people in the chat feel like she has to give up something at this point?
Why does she need her ends trimmed, guys? Everybody in the chat,
what is it about her hair.
What is it
Right.
that needs to be trimmed? Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. Ooh, we gonna get. Oh, you about to get it, Cheryl. Now, y'all hit that thumbs up button while you guys are waiting for the answer. Our virtual co-host, Wike and Sandra, says now is a good time to help change the narrative about relaxer burns and hair breakage, damaged hair, all this good stuff. And so Cheryl is showing y'all what y'all need to do. So I'm gonna just show y'all right quick. Hit that thumbs up button as you answer. Why does this hair need a little trim or just trim this shit, whatever. All right, so let's see. Why does this hair need a little trim or a lot of trim? Let's see. What does the YouTube University says? All right, because it looks a little raggedy. Okay, the ends are raggedy. It'll look cuter. Ooh, y'all fierce out here in these social media streets. Y'all some bad bunnies. Woo! Woo, 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 woo. Okay, Instagram was a little shy. So is LinkedIn. Yeah, so they can't tell. It's just a picture. Okay, Eleanor, your doll is coming too, by the way. She's coming. She's coming. Okay. All right. Okay, so it would look better. They look raggedy. Let me put the picture up. What do you say, Cheryl, about the ends of her hair? Because this is when they say relaxers, they mess up your ends.
I know, but why? But it just looks layered. It looks like it's just layered. You just change the direction, of the style, and right, and
So
this
that's
is right. You just
put it
change
back
it
up.
to a layered. Yeah, you just change it to a layered cut, soften up the ends a little bit, and you just change the style. She doesn't
So
have to
that's
suffer her length because that while the hair is wet, it don't go back to no, nappy, you know what I mean, texture. Why does she have to give up her length? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I wouldn't cut her hair at all. I mean, you ain't gonna see the shit. Let's just be honest. Because once you curl it up, put some grease on it, y'all ain't gonna know. I mean, that's the thing. I think people think that like they can see my hair, right? And all of this looks like, it's all the same length, right? With the exception up here. But like you said, look at all of the different, I got some serious layers, but y'all don't see it. You know what I'm saying? But I've got layers all throughout this hair, but because these are hair cut, weight is the enemy of all hairstyles. So once the hair gets weighted, then all of the hair will just collapse. So most people, if they want volume, you like Cheryl said, you got to put some shape in it. If not, it's just going to be real flat. I just wear mine flat, but when I go out, hold on now, y'all. I do not look like this now.
Yeah,
But
an afro. My hair is a big afro, and so at the end of the day, I'm not trying to get
my
heavy
ends, as
weight
you can
line.
see, they are not quote unquote even. You see that? And I got mine cut about a month ago, so they're not even, but to your naked eye, it looks even. But if I was to put a white piece of paper, my hair would look exactly like hers. But every day, my hair looks so nice. I had to open up my own hair salon. You're like, oh my gosh, your hair looks so beautiful. But my ends are not. I'm telling y'all right now.
No, they're
So
not
I think
all. They're not all unison.
no. No, I would not mess with her hair either. So that's another thing that we get wrong is that if it's not nice and perfect and trim, now it's like fingernails. My fingernails look nice and even from back here, but if I pull them up close, I need to have them filed. Okay, so. But we get it. Okay, so it's the aesthetics, and they're like, whoa, this is pretty good. All right, now let's move over to the relaxer burns. Why is this relaxer burning? Let's show a clip. This one is about just two clips about relaxer burns and scalp irritation. I'll just show them back to back. So here's one about what to do if your scalp is irritated with
Does
the relaxer.
relaxers irritates your scalp? Here is a possible solution. A firm sensitive scalp relaxer.
to resolve the burning issue is to use a milder relaxer. And here's a person who said, oh, this is what happened to my hair after I got to relax and I have these burns.
Oh, 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 wow. Wow.
All right. How many people before Cheryl addresses the relaxer burn my hair out? Now that y'all know, oh, I feel bad. I thought this picture was up to date, but now that y'all, so y'all got to be careful. Some of these people are not professionals. Now, Cheryl and I, we are licensed professionals, so we know the difference here. So how many people in here have experienced scalp burns, tingling, irritations? I think those are the common 3 words: scalp burn, I got some tingling, or some type of a sensation, some heat, with the relaxer. So let's see how many people are responding. And Cheryl's going to take you guys through. Yes, I have. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry, Kay. She says, yes, she have scalp burns and scalp PTSD. I have not heard that one. Yes, I have had scalp burns. Wow. I said you live, work, playing. Come through, boo, all the way, our Canadian babe. So scalp burns is still high on the radar of a no-no for relaxers. Is that the sensation? And I got your question. I'm coming to yours. All right. Okay. Okay, Cheryl, take it away. Why the burning, the sensation, the tingling? What's going on with this burning stuff?
I want you guys to also, do you guys remember the patch test? If I were to do a patch test on your arm, right, with anything that carries what we call heat, high pH, low acidity, or even high acidity. Okay. And you guys have to think about it. Like, let's say if I had a little abrasion and then I got some lemon juice in it, right? You have to understand what causes it. Is not so much the chemical, beside more than the actual pH. Okay. Because the higher pH, it gets warm. Now I want to address the video. Though that was not scalp burns, because it would hurt. And she was very generous with that comb, lifting that shit off her scalp. Mm-hmm. That would hurt because it would be what we call 1st degree burn. Now, I want you guys also to understand that the epidermis is very durable. Okay. And so once you start feeling a sensation of stinging, tingling is the sodium part of the relaxer. Okay. That's tingling. That could be because of the front part of you just raking and brushing your hair back all the time. Okay. Tingling doesn't usually happen everywhere because it's just that you've either rubbed the scalp some one way, or as I know I sweat a lot sometimes on the forehead. So it gets the salt, that's the sodium in the relaxer. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. The lye makes it what we call hot. Okay. And so by the time, and I know that you would like to get something that's comfortable, because one of the things that we did do from the early 20th century to the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we did improve on the emulsions of it. Does it need more improvement? Will we ever get a mineral-based calcium or salt-based cream that would not sting what we call prone sensitive clients? We would probably only do that at what we call if we base them first. But Ladosha being a colorist, you also can get color burn. You can get burn from that particular process. Okay. But all of these things are stinging or tingling because of the high pH. And if you get the stinging on the perimeter, or you scratch somewhere and you get that tingling, it is the salt mineral portion of
It's
the
funny.
relaxer that's doing that. But go
Get a
ahead.
lip cut. If you get a lip cut, right, and you
Mhm.
eat some salt, it'll burn. But you don't
Yeah.
stop eating salt. You don't say, "Oh, I
You don't
cannot
have
eat
salt
any."
PSD.
Yeah, you don't have salt PTSD. And I like the way that you're making this relaxer more relatable to the average consumer by explaining that the sodium hydroxide, you know, how it's the salt, just to make it make sense because it is caustic. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But we do have a question here, and I'll show a video. The first one is about this is SJST123. Welcome. We got a cousin in the chat right here on YouTube. It says, hey, I understand that relaxers can have carcinogenic properties, which can be cancerous. And they quote, they're saying, I am not trying to cause fear, but they're imploring you and I to please look into this research that relaxers can have carcinogenic properties. And we talked about this a little bit. So let's answer SJT's question, and y'all show y'all cousin some love. And then Lawanda, you're up next. So what do you say about people who are saying, well, I get y'all on the whole language and the skills and the science and you are black systemically and naturally, genetically, and the sodium burns and the lye makes it hot, but God damn it, it still causes cancer. It's linked to cancer.
One thing that I'm going to say, I mean, I'm going to step out on a limb here. I guarantee you 99.5% of people on the planet right now do not know what cancer is. Guaranteed. And then when we say carcinogenic, that means that it is cancer causing. Now, we don't know what cancer is, and we love to say these words. And one of the things that we do understand, because I understand it very well, okay? And so we know that there is what we call we know that these products are temporary, number one. Number two, that when we say properties, does that mean, and I want you guys to be clear, properties, or do you mean ingredients? Or do you mean that there's certain properties of that ingredient that are in beauty substances? Because one of the things that I want you guys to realize is that the time of exposure, and I'm going to walk you through, maybe let's do January. Let's say you get the average per my data when I wrote my book. The data means the average woman gets one every 8 weeks. Okay, so you do 2 times, those are 2 months. And so you're only getting a relaxer maybe 2 to 3 times a year. And you only have it on your scalp for 12 minutes at the most, 12 complete
Right.
after you get it all over. Okay. And I would probably say over 75% of my experience didn't feel anything. Okay. And so when you understand that there is actually nothing left in the hair and skin that is prevalent to have a gateway or a pathway to get to what we call cell. Now, I want you guys to also look up the epidermis is a barrier. And at best, a tingling, stinging, first-degree burn is only going to be on the surface of what we call the corneum, the stratum corneum. which means that the epidermis is very hard. It's very hard. It's called what they call, and look it up, it's called a cornified layer of skin. It's almost like bricks. Okay. They describe them as, I think, brick and mortar. Anyway, the point here is that, just to answer her question, there is and not has been any ingredient in calcium, lithium, potash, potassium, sodium, hydroxide that induces what we call oxidative stress, and I call cancer oxidative stress, but that's a whole nother story.
All right.
But
okay, and what I'm gonna do for SJ123 is I just put it in the chat, the actual link to the NIH study, which, by the way, you guys got to read the study. Please read the study. It does not say that it causes cancer. Okay, it's not linked to cancer. It does
now
not
we
say
can
that.
have another conversation. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, we'll
you,
have to.
we can have another conversation that dovetails, that goes into other things, and how we can improve Black women's health. I'm not saying that we can't improve it, and I'm not saying that we can't improve relaxer technology, because we've already done that and laid the groundwork for that. But what we don't want to do is to give you guys more baffling misinformation, disinformation, because disinformation is knowing, because we're going to answer Luana's question, and that's disinformation. Disinformation is people willfully knowing that it is no correlation or connection to it.
Right. Yeah, that research, by the way, it is not a research on actual,
correlative, not scientific.
So,
no.
Right. So it's not a scientific study. We just want to make that clear. So just to help you guys with it, I put the actual correlative research. It is in the link. Okay. I mean, in the chat. So there you go. So let me show this clip to help answer Lawana's question. Thank you so much, LB. She ain't eating no bologna today, but I ate some peanut butter jelly. She eats the roast beef. So here's the keratin. I'm going to show both the videos, Cheryl, so you can answer her question. Part 1, what's the difference between a relaxer and a Japanese straightening / blowout? Here we go.
It was very damaged, and that it was very short on at the front. This is due to her having at-home relaxers and then touching it up way too often, not having regular cuts, and not keeping her hair moisturised. Overall, she hasn't taken care of her hair, and this is the result of it. However, my job isn't to judge, never ever to judge. We don't know what people are going through. You never know how someone has been taught to look after their hair, so we are here to advise, and that is all. So throughout the appointment, the lady was flip-flopping in between wanting a haircut and not having a haircut. And my job is to let you know the pros and the cons of not having your haircut or having.
All right. So that was the keratin treatment part 1. Here is the finished results.
To have it off on this particular appointment, purely because she has a job where she needs to tie it up. So she would have had to go quite short. And I just think for some people, their hair is their comfort blanket. So she wanted to keep as much length as possible. Did I agree with this? Absolutely not. But did I listen to what my client wanted and what she was comfortable with? Absolutely. So I cut as much as she would let me take off. And I did advise that the treatment isn't a one-stop treatment. Like, it's not just going to repair the hair just like.
Okay. Wow.
I'm gonna let you answer the difference, and I'm gonna give because I did respond to that video that was on TikTok. So what's the difference between the keratin treatment and the relaxer? The keratin straightening, Japanese, Brazilian, they're all the same straightening treatments. And put a picture up here. Let me just show you. This is not a finished relaxed look, by the way, guys, but I'm just showing you, okay? And relaxed hair, okay? All right. What's the
Okay,
difference?
now the women, first of all, the clients are different. Okay. The relaxer client wants to work Black women's hairstylists' nerves and say they want to eventually turn back to their curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
The Brazilian, and Japanese and European straightening treatments, they don't want to go back. Okay, they don't care about no curly hair. They don't care about any of that. Okay, so the whole intentions are different. Now that we got that out the way, but I want to bring you back, and maybe you guys can go back to 1991, 1992. Okay, and you guys have heard the infomercials and the history of Rio. Okay, then you guys have heard of what we call Copa, and you saw Debbie Allen's trying to sell it. This is 91, 92, 93. Okay, now I want to be very clear. Okay, Rio de Janeiro is where? Brazil, South America. Okay, where is Copacabana? It is in Brazil. Okay, and then they came out with thermal reconditioning. That belongs to Japan. Then you have Licio, Japan. Then you have Kaio, which is from Europe, Germany, to be, specific, right? All of these are what we call, now you have to remember, the treatment wasn't done after they rinsed it out. When Ladosha does a relaxer and Cheryl Morrow does one, after we rinse it out, baby, we done. It's just a matter of styling it, blow drying it, boom, boom, boom. With Brazilian keratin, they are trying to also the heat and flat. That's why she was flat ironing. You see so many strokes. That is a part of the treatment. Okay, they are trying to shut that cuticle down.
And and they do that. The first step, they do it while it's wet, guys. That was the finish. Yeah, but if you look at the first video, she had the cream and they
right.
flat iron.
So the cream is working on creating a swelled and then trying to smelt the cuticle to the hair strand. And the heat finishes the welding. So where the cuticle won't flip back up. The flip up of the cuticle is what we call reversion. But Black people, we just use a simple relaxer alkaline system and just do it on the new growth, or if we do a virgin, we just do it in 12 minutes versus someone doing it in 4 hours. And that's where the government started getting the warning with OSHA and EPA about the hours of exposure with what we call gases. And that's what's the formaldehyde. And because they were such a punk asses, they put your Black ass on that movement. Now, I just told you, we ran Rio out of town. We ran Copa out of town. We did not let them into our Black hair care. We didn't give a shit if Debbie Allen was doing the shit in the first damn place. We told them, Black folks, take that shit back to Brazil. We never accepted it. It never infiltrated the Black hair care industry.
So when we flat iron hair after a relaxer, there is no...
We're just styling it. Right.
There is no gas, that's no carcinogenic gas that forms.
There's nothing in the hair.
Oh, okay.
Relaxer works on the hair.
Okay.
And then gets rinsed out.
Did y'all get that?
The treatment is inside them. Uh-oh.
Say it again. Let me take this down. Here you go, Luana. The difference between the relaxer and any straightening system is the relaxer
works on the surface of the hair. Once we get the texture that we like, we rinse it out, and then there's nothing there. The keratin, regardless if it's in Europe, Asia, or Latin America, It doesn't matter. If it comes from those particular places, those are treatments, which means that that's why they're closing the cuticle so many turns with the flat iron, because they're locking it in. That works in the hair. Black folks relaxer works on the surface only, and then
Y'all
gets
hold on.
washed out.
They loving this. Come on. Y'all drop them. Hold on here, Urkel. They in the chat like, oh, shucky ducky. I'm here for it. Y'all better give my girl. Come on. Clap emojis and that's difference between the relaxer and any hair, quote unquote, straightening system. You've got it.
Right.
Wow. Keep
Now
going,
now you notice why she left the client with the stuff on and she walked away from it. We would never do that with no relaxer. We would still be trying to what? Work on the surface. We're trying to make sure that we stretch that cuticle. That's the difference in application, because the application is indicative of what the actual chemical is doing in relationship of the hair. Ours work on the surface. And once we get that straight, you understand? Once that, in other words, we can have this. We start out with that hair this wide. As long as we get that diameter about this, we like you. Okay. We just got, it's a nice wave. After you rinse it out, baby, it's over. It's going.
Yeah.
That's why.
Relaxer, you don't have to, when they put the solution on your hair, they have to take the flat iron and kind of warm it up, right? And then after they let it sit, then they flat iron it, then they wash it out, then they flat iron it again. Okay, so that's a relaxers, you don't do all of that. Can you help them? Let me just show some as you talk about this with nothing, just the difference. Now we know the difference between a relaxer and a straightening treatment. What is the difference between over-the-counter relaxers, such as these here? Okay. And I know I've used the Dark and Lovely one. Okay. And now you have these professional ones. So what's the difference? You have a firm, Design Essentials, Mazzani, and I picked these because they're the most popular ones. So what's the difference between these and over-the-counter relaxers?
Because you can design and you can slow down calcium. Because when calcium interacts with the part 2, the little bottle, it doesn't work as fast as the professional ones. And professionals are usually sodium, non-mix, because the sodium, when you mix it, it's already activated. That's why you have to keep it closed. But commercial markets, they have chosen calcium, the part 1 and part 2, as a cautionary to be governed and to be what we call more time manageable for the average consumer, because they could be doing it on their own hair.
Okay.
So calcium, because of calcium and sodium are 2 different things. Okay. What we call the mineral part of the relaxer, not the active part of the relaxer. Active is the part 2, the guanidine. So when we choose the part, the part 1 and part 2, those are just commercial. They just have better, they have other types of emulsions and commercial grade emulsions for the cautionary person who don't have the application skills to use a sodium.
All right. Another quick question, right quick. So are the fumes from the keratin treatments toxic?
Toxic is potential. Toxic let's just say if I have a chemical sensitivity and I get exposed to some of the vapors of formaldehyde, my lungs are going to be hypersensitive, and then they will probably be what we call irritated, because toxic is a potentiality, not a poison. See, poisonous is poisonous. Toxic is toxic. Toxic is always a potential to be poisonous or hazardous, right?
Mm.
But you have
So,
to ingest it in order for that something to be toxic. Because if you never get exposed to it, I mean, what difference does it make for you categorizing it as a toxic if it's potential? Because if you don't ever get exposed to it, then because what we do is then when we say detox, see, there's that word again. That's that language right there. Those languages are, they're barriers, because
that
we
sounds so
understand that
nice.
something is poisonous when it's
Mm.
toxic.
So it's only like when they flat iron the hair and the fumes come up and the person inhales it,
Right.
that's the
That's why they
potentiality.
say, right. That's why they say on certain medicines, if you get this in your eye, rinse your eye and then call the emergency.
Yeah, right.
Because it's not supposed to go in your eye. It's supposed to do what you bought it for. But it's not toxic for what you bought it for, but it's toxic to your eye. You get
All
it?
right. Got it? Okay. So only when you put that heat and the fumes come up, if you're not in this stuff, y'all, it doesn't apply to you guys. So if you're not sitting in the chair, they're, inhaling it as you get the service or do the service, it just doesn't apply. But if it does, then you have definitely increased the likelihood. Okay. So, but they tell you guys this. Alan, go back to our podcast on Thursday. He did a thorough job and showing you how the FDA links you to the NIH, who did an extensive study on real people. Now, this is not a correlative study when it comes to inhaling fumes that are carcinogenic from formaldehyde. Okay, so that's where we're going.
Toxic, not carcinogenic.
Toxic. I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay, even Kilo got to watch out. Okay, what about these relaxers that look like they're quote unquote professional? Because you'll see professionals using these types of relaxers, but they're not professional. So when you say professional grade, can you talk about the professional grade again a little bit more? Now that we understand over the counter is to kind of help people who have less skills with the sensation. What is it about the professional relaxer that is more appropriate, or as you would say, apropos, for straightening hair or relaxing hair?
Well, professional grade is for the stylist to be able to sell the client in a way that a aisle without a voice can sell to a client. So a firm puts in safeguards. They give them other language. A firm has been good in giving the stylist language that is synonymous with the quality of safeguards that they have put. Now, notice that they're all pre-mixed. So these are sodiums. Okay, these are made for professionals to use because they can see and they can part. They're used to organizing the plats, and they're working very succinctly and working it better in a time organization. Okay, and so they have better timelines and application skills. Okay, but these are all, and then two, the size matters. You notice that most professional come in what we call buckets. Okay, so they'll come in what we call a 32 to 64 ounce. Okay, because they're made to be dipped into service multiple clients within a 30-day period, right? Or a 45-day period. So there is reasons why we put those in the containers we put them in. There's a professional reason for one salon, and then two, the manufacturers are also hoping that they become a concept salon. So if we use all Mazzani, or we use all Design Essentials, or we use all Affirm, they're hoping that you are engaged with their philosophy and their sales messaging and their product knowledge, and that that's going to be a selling point to the client to patronize you versus someone down the street. Yeah, that's what they're banking on, right?
And you have to have a cosmetology or barber's license to buy. You heard Alan talk about this. You must be licensed to buy his relaxer, as is Design Essentials, Mazzani's butter blend, and Affirm. We use the Affirm relaxer system. I'm a strong proponent of systems with relaxers. I don't like to just grab a bucket of relaxer. This does not mean that this is a bad relaxer, but professionally, I would not use this in the hair salon because I prefer systems, because I understand pHs, and like Cheryl said, what we're working with, as opposed to this here over the counter. Again, it's not, the quality is not there, and it doesn't render professional results. Not to say that these are not good. We're just giving you guys the difference between what's professional and what's not professional. Now, your father refused to let his stuff go over the counter. And because his stuff was for licensed professionals only as well. What's the benefit of a product? I mean, you being brought up in that, of having something that says, no, in order to buy this, you must have a cosmetic, don't have your friends go use their license. Like, I've had customers ask me, can you use your license to go and get me something? No, I actually lost a customer. I lost 2 customers because I would not do that. I will not do that. I will not go by color. I don't care if it's a hair oil. And this one was just a hair oil. And the company says it's for licensed professionals only. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't care if it's hair grease. I'm not. So why was your dad like really staunch on not taking his over the counter?
Well, over the counter is for the educational level. The OTC customer only has so much piece of information. Now, of course, social media has switched that. Now they're in information overload. Okay, and I think that they're overeducated and overexposed with words and terms and concepts that they should not be privy to, because they don't know where to put it, and they'll just say something. And of course, that's what we said about the disinformation. There's certain information and application information, professional information in the hands of people who don't do their hair or do other people's hair, to me, is just a waste of brain space and mind share, in my opinion. But Mr. Morrow, he was industry. He was pro-industry. So the only thing that he would allow into what we call a beauty supply counter or a salon counter was his maintenance, something that you can do that go at home, because then if he has home-based ingredients or something you can handle at home in your level of education, then that was matched with that product. But if something became sophisticated and you needed to think and you needed the time and you needed to have experience and you needed to be able to have other skill sets, he would not give the customer access to that. Because at the end of the day, you have the magistrate and the court issues and in lawsuits and things of that nature.
All right.
And he wanted to protect his industry and protect professionals.
Okay, so now you have it. Now we got a caveat here, Cheryl. Okay. As you can see, we have Live, Work, Clean, our Canadian babe. And she says, okay, but I have a licensed professional. I said I wasn't going to say nothing. do my hair, and she messed it up like she was somebody at home or unskilled. So how are we helping them understand the relaxer burns and the hair breakage issue when they actually go to a professional, and the licensed professional had the ultimate faux pas? Is there a way to circumvent that, or how do they handle that, or can you address that?
Yeah. We ain't. I'm not. Yeah. I'm sure most hairstylists wouldn't agree, but I will say this. We once again, and this comes out of the lack of Afro science or just understanding as we begin the podcast. We don't interview, and I don't. And work clean. You look like a pretty savvy woman,
I
right?
think she was a kid. She was a kid when that happened, but I think
Oh,
so.
she
Let
was
us
a
know if you were a
kid.
kid. I think
Oh,
she said she was a kid when that happened. But anyway, let us know if you were a
yeah,
kid.
because
But
there was a
anyway,
lot, right? But of course, and if you were a kid, I mean, there's your mother, obviously.
it applies to the
Yeah,
parent. So either the
yeah.
parent or the
Okay, okay,
person.
okay. I didn't read that part. But what you can do is all parents. It doesn't make a difference to interview, because at the end of the day, you have to be. Excuse me. You have to be sure
Oh no, sorry.
that they.
She said that happened 4 months ago. Sorry.
That's
No,
what I thought.
correct. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. I think somebody was
Okay.
talking about when they were a kid, but go ahead. I'm
Right,
sorry.
right, right, right. But I will I will say that I don't want to gaslight any person who's had a bad experience and talking about prevention, and it's not your fault. But our industry, there is safeguards by getting a person who does this for a living. And at the end of the day, how many relaxers you do a day, what is your specialty, and things of that nature. Now, I know live work clean is I believe for her to be savvy enough to understand, and for in 2026 for a person to not be savvy basically on applying relaxer. I probably would have caught it. Kilolo probably would have caught it. But I just want to say, first of all, I apologize, for my professional industry. And I'm sorry that did not work out. But what I can say is that we are definitely have to equip women like yourself with better questions to be able to ask the professional.
Well, maybe that's something Cheryl and we can do one of those things that those influencers do. We'll make a guide. We'll maybe give you guys a 10-point hair oracle guide. Well, you're not actually like letting it be known that you're like, interviewing, but just some things that you could be doing as you lead up to booking that appointment. We have Kenyatta, the stylist over here on Instagram, who's saying that Mr. Bailey sells Vital relaxers. It's a good relaxer, and the store is located on Miles, and he's been around for years. That's where I get my stuff from. What's up, me kiddo? I see you over there on Instagram. I buy all of my relaxers from JT Bailey, and I've been in business for 25 years. I have been a 25-year loyal customer. I am going to give Alan's relaxer a try. So I can tell you that what Kenyatta is recommending, and please go follow her here on Instagram. She is a licensed cosmetologist, as is Sir Pooh. Cheryl's directions for you guys is 100% dead on. I am for interviewing the cosmetologist before you let them touch your hair. And I know this is petty, and Kenyatta, let me know if you concur, but I'm going to tell y'all right now, if that stylist hair is jacked up, please do not let that person in your hair. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. I don't care if they're having a bad hair day. It would not work with your doctor. It would not be acceptable with your police officer. It would not be acceptable with your waitress at the restaurant. Image matters. And if that stylist cannot navigate their own scalp and hair, I don't know. I would not let these people
I
put
would
these
agree.
chemicals in my hair.
I,
I'm not
I
saying
would
because
agree.
they gotta weave, and I'm not talking about that. You can have all of that, but at some point you need to see that stylist real hair, even if she says she has some type of a scalp condition, so on. I get it. I do get it, but you cannot hide behind that. You need to let me see some before and after. Before you had that scalp condition, what did your hair look like? Everybody got phones. Everybody's throwing up pictures from 1986 and 82. Show it. And she says she's agreed. I don't understand a bad hair day. You guys, and I know this sounds persnickety and Cheryl, maybe you could just add a little bit more to that. But if you look at Cheryl's hair, you look at my hair, go through all of Cheryl's, scroll our content. Don't just look at the pictures from the last year. Go all the way through. I'm serious. Look for repeat customers. Now, the only exception is those stylists who are what we call session stylists, where they do like celebrities. That's going to be hard to track them because they're probably for that particular celebrity, so or that particular magazine. So those stylists don't count. But the everyday stylists, even if they're pretending or they're saying that they are a celebrity stylist, if you do not see repeat customers in those social media feeds, I don't know. But Cheryl, do you think, can you just add more to the credibility?
Yeah. What I was gonna also say, you know, ask them what do they think about relaxers.
Okay.
If they don't like them, they have negative things to say, that's not the stylist for you.
Really?
They don't necessarily have to agree with them, and they certainly don't have to have they do them, and they like to please their customers, and they and what kind do they buy? Now you know when they lying. I mean, live, work, clean. Come on now, you know when somebody's lying to you, right? And also, when's the last time you did one? And they say last year. It's not for you.
Can I just add something to that? I had a flashback. When I first met Olive Benson, right? And she was telling me that she wants me to become a colorist. And I'm like, no. And she was like, why? And I said, because color damages your hair. Now, I didn't know who I was talking to, y'all. Okay. And so you know what she said to me? She said, things and people we don't like are things and people that we don't know. You don't like color, young lady, because you don't know color. And I cannot tell you how many customers that I had told before I learned color that color was bad for hair. So and I forgot about that. This is a confession, Mom. I'm just talking about me. I'm not talking about any other, and I'm licensed. I was 10 years into the profession when I met her. So for 10 years, I told customers that hair color was bad for hair. And it wasn't until I met my mentor match, she was no match. That's not right. That I learned what Cheryl says. And I totally have forgotten all about that until you said it. So if you're licensed professional, I don't care if they're a natural hairstylist or not, if they do something like that, what's up? I am Sister Moon. I see you, boo boo, over here on Instagram. I do. I think that is a dangerous thing when we start putting down and saying stuff like that. And I'm just saying I was guilty. I did say that. You're a mighty woman, Cheryl. You're very mighty.
Well, thank you, sis. And people, I don't talk about it, but I did locks. I twisted for a while. Yeah, and it's just that's not the path. It wasn't my path, but it also was men who wanted their hair in terms of a style. And I took I what I didn't like was the gel and the butter and all of that other good stuff. So what I decided to do was call my dad and tell him to make me a very sticky protein shampoo. That way it was medicated for their scalp, and then it would stick the hair because of the protein in it. And it worked very well, but I just, not that I didn't like it per se or anything like that, but when they talk bad about something or they have some very strong opposing value systems around it, you may not want them to do it.
Yeah. And another good question in the chat, Cheryl, is what about the stylist who wears their hair short? Because we're not saying that you have to have long or medium length or flowing hair. We're just saying that, and I'm Kenyatta, I'm gonna throw you in this conversation. I know you can't talk over here on Instagram, but I'm gonna put Kenyatta in the middle of it too. We're not saying that you have to have like long hair. It doesn't matter the length. Professionally, and I'm just going to repeat what Kenyatta wrote over here on Instagram. Yes, I agree. We do need to look neat. She understands a bad hair day. We get that. It can happen. I do. When I have a bad hair day, I'll just rock a hat, but my hair is combed, okay? But whether your hair is long or short, the hair has to be kept professionally. I think it speaks. I know it speaks to credibility, and that's. I'm not saying because their hair isn't combed they can't do hair. I don't know. I can't apologize for that. I don't know.
Well, I know that I would not like to go to somebody that's afflicted, maybe with something that I'm trying to get healed by.
That wasn't meant to laugh, y'all, but we're trying to help y'all understand.
I mean, right. I know the optics of that would be very hard to sit through, right?
Oh, sorry, y'all, but that was a mighty statement. See, I was trying to say it like that, but okay.
Okay, and you really want to have something in common and be in proximity to what your stylist is. You want them to be something you're aspired to be or to look like, right? So you don't. I mean, I get it, and I don't want you. I don't want you to bring your prejudices, and I don't also want the hairstylist to trigger any of them. Either. But short hair is, I think, out of actually when hairstylists does have short hair, I think that they are more cognizant and cautious, and I think they do take time out with themselves a lot more because they are cutting. They wear the pixie and the nice short haircut because of convenience, so they can come to work elegant. And
as a matter of fact, you're right, because I don't know her personally, but I have been to her classes. She supported me in my career. Her name is Edith. I don't know Edith's last name. Oh God, forgive me. But she is from Cleveland, and she's actually the stylist for Tiana Taylor. And she wears a shortcut. Sunny wears a short. I'm just speaking of the people that I know here in Cleveland. And their hair, they always sharp. I ain't never seen Edith not look, I mean, Edith is fine too.
I think it is a self-preservation mechanism. It's making sure that she can look her top while putting low effort. And we're not I wear, if I'm going out or I'm lecturing or anything, I'll wear a classic Sade ponytail. And it still looks, or a bun, or you know what I mean, or a bohemian bun or whatever the case may tell me. But the point is that they understand that yourself is not an afterthought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And it is a matter of respect.
Right, because if you're going to a hairstylist and you're concerned about, that's what this conversation is about. We're talking about chemical burns. We're talking about the belief that this particular relaxer actually damaged my hair. And you're going to a professional who doesn't look the part, or they're saying bad things about the chemical. I love Yate's response in the chat where she says she doesn't say anything bad about it. She just lets the customer know that that is not the service that she offers, and she refers them to someone else. And I do the exact same thing. Like, I don't do weaves, I don't do keratin treatments, but I know who does them. We send all of the customers over. I look up the reviews. I actually go, I introduce myself to the people at the salon. We'll call, we'll let them know that we're sending the people to them, that they have a problem. Like we do, it's like a doctor who refers you to another doctor. I don't do optometry. You have to go see an optometrist. So in our industry, we do that. So I deliberately go out to other hair salons, hence the fête du jour, so people can know who I am, what I'm doing. So if they say Ladosha sent somebody, then they know, oh, that's a good referral, and vice versa. I have cosmetology schools. Everybody, they'll say, I don't do it, but Ladosha, if you want your hair colored, go see Kilolo. I don't really do that type of color. So thank you for that, Yate. That's really good advice. So again, these things matter when you're talking about chemical burns. You're talking about damaged hair. Cheryl says you have to, vet that stylist. We say, Kenyatta and I ask Cheryl, we say, look at their hair. I mean, if Yate didn't look the way Yate looked, I don't know, Yate. I don't know if you can have that many.
But of course, Yate is her brand. She wears, and she gets up and she wears her brand. Okay. You can instantly look at her and know what she specializes in. I mean, she walks the walk and talks the talk.
Okay.
And you look like you do hair color.
Yeah. And by the way, for all this color that I have in my hair, I can count on 2 fingers how many people want this look. Nobody comes in asking for this color. But to your point, people do see my hair, they see my color, and they say, you know what? She looks like she knows what. Now, they don't know if I know what I'm doing, but at least to what Kenyatta is saying over here, yes, we look at the hairstylist different. Hairstylists are supposed to look kept, at least their hair. It talks before we even open our mouth. So Yate, it just speaks before we even start talking. People, sure, you've been with me. They're like crawling just to ask me those questions. So, absolutely. And I may not do those services. I may not. So thank you, Yate. Yeah. All right. I think we will work on that 10-point questions to ask your to interview your stylist indirectly or directly. Cheryl and I will work on that after the podcast. We can have that for you guys. This has been an awesome podcast. I mean, everybody stayed in. Thank you, Sir Poole. You do look the part. Y'all see, look at Sir Poole with his fine ass. He in a movie. You know what I'm saying? He could tell you guys. We're not trying to be insulting. We're just trying to help you guys out, because when it comes to relaxer burns and hair breakage, you now understand, again, it's the burning, it's from the sodium, the hotness is coming from the lye. We have to understand Afro hair. We have to understand that we were not just people who were trying to look white. There is a hair science. After all, who taught George Washington Carver? Who taught George Washington Carver? So we cannot be looking at each other and saying stuff like I did with Cheryl. I was crying. Ooh, you got me up all here talking stupid. I didn't even know. And I didn't want to believe. And I said it, Sir Pooh. Y'all know this is how you know you ghetto, Sir Pooh. Well, I ain't never heard none. I know, and I said it. Ain't no white person ever said no shit like that. And Cheryl was
And
all
we
like,
and we took it slow. And we took it slow.
let me ask you a question. I don't want to ask no questions. It was just, it hurt me. Because I just,
She
your
was a
last
good
name is
sport. She and let me just say this. I want to say this.
I got it together, but it was for a long time.
Ladosha is a extremely educated woman, which means that it's just a matter of exposure. Once she got it, it may have bruised her ego a bit, but her education took it and understood it, and she would come back and make it make sense. And at that point, and this is when you know a person is really educated, she took advantage of it. And she made different economic arrangements and social arrangements and understood her business different, understood clients different. So much that she did something with the knowledge that I didn't think about. And that's when you run into intelligence. It's not the fact, stop getting hung up in the fact of what you don't know. You didn't know because no one told you. And you don't have to be embarrassed about that. Because once I got over the embarrassment of saying, well, Cheryl, didn't nobody grow up with Willie Morrow. So I got over the fact that I thought you were supposed to know. But no, you're not supposed to know. But the great grandmaster herself said, when you did what you did, because that's what you knew. But when you know better, you do better. Mm-hmm. Because you can't unhear it now. In fact, your brain now wants to put it in something you already knew. And sometimes as Black folks, especially Black folks, we know something in, like, let's say food, or we'll know something in material or fashion, or we'll know something in a different industry, or we'll be changing the oil in our car, and they'll say something to us, and then you'll be sitting there going, that makes sense. That's what Cheryl, or that's what Ladosha meant. And because that's what knowledge does, it's all connected. And so one of the smartest women I've ever worked with.
Yeah. Why, thank you.
Not the fact that she did. Right.
But cool. So to all the hairstylists in the chat now, y'all know my other tears was about my damn money. I am a Scorpio now. I mean, I was like, what about my income? This was a scary thing. I had built go through some of my old YouTube videos. You will see my growth. I got some pseudo shit on here.
Yeah, what about my book?
I want y'all to see my growth. I'm talking about before the pandemic. Y'all go look at some of them old. Y'all gonna be like, oh, Ladosha, I know you did. Yes, I did.
If it can happen to right? No, but if it can happen to Dr. Morrow, Dr. Morrow's early writings is not where he ended up. He had to revise his own premise, because you only do and say and know what you know then. So after the travels and all of the being exposed to the Asian cultures and the African cultures and the West African cultures and the North and South and East African cultures and in Europe and then the Caribbean and then South America. And South America is packed with some great healers and great nutrients. And so you just get and you travel and you learn and you say, wow, I was wrong. I got that wrong.
Yeah, that's part of
That's what being an expert it's about. Absolutely.
And so when it comes to these relaxers, guys, now we know the new language. It's alchemy, it's science, it's Afro Hair Science. And it came from the plantation, inspired, influenced, contributed, sponsored, whatever word you want to use, by Mama Africa. We were consultants on that we were not just slaves. So we got new language, new conversation, and now you know what to do about those relaxers burns, why they're burning. We know about the breakage, the difference between the relaxer, the formaldehyde, the straighteners, the over-the-counter. I think we've got this. I think we have got this covered.
Bad client.
And we love you too. We're glad the podcast has changed your scalp and your hair, even with dermatitis. And by the way, before we wrap it up,
wait a minute. Did you get a relaxer and you get and we have had a past problem with dermatitis?
No, she was saying she loved the podcast, that it has helped change her hair.
The overall. Okay.
Yeah, she's been much better. But also, just to let you guys know again, you are not alone. We are not alone. We do have Yate. We just keep asking y'all better go check our girl out every Sunday, just so you guys can see what.
Yeah, it was really good yesterday because I listened. While you were at the concert. Yeah,
I was with the Rock really Kim. It's okay. It's all right. She said it's okay. So y'all check out
her guest broke down, why she didn't have the right personality for the sweets. It was very, very profound. It made a lot of sense.
So y'all check her out. She's right here on YouTube every Sunday at 8:00 PM EST. She's also on Instagram. She's also on TikTok, all right, and on Facebook. You guys can check her out. Don't forget Sir Pooh. He's also, even though he's in the movies now, it's okay, Sir Pooh. Don't forget her IG is Yate. That's YAH. I'm sorry. It's Real Roots TV with the Z. Real Roots over here on Instagram. They're looking for you, Yate. So if you can drop your handle over there on Instagram, they're looking for you. Okay, so that's Real Roots TV right here on Instagram. Also, Kenyatta _ the stylist. Check her out over here on Instagram. Professional, my homegirl. Thanks for your support. You guys, there's some wonderful people out here. Cheryl, where you go? Did I lose Cheryl? I must have lost Cheryl. Okay, maybe she had to go. She'll come back. She'll let me know. I think she had to go. Okay, maybe she'll come back. Okay, anywho, it's just me. All right, so we thank you guys I hope I did not click her out. Y'all know Kilo will be messing up. All right, so we thank you guys so very much. We will be back here on Thursday. And again, our topic is all about what? Advanced education on relaxers and perms. So all the hairstylists, y'all come back and we're going to talk about why that is so needed. Don't forget, join me and Shirley Smith and the RDT team. We're going to be over at Milton's Lounge 5:30 to 7:30 with the candidate for Cuyahoga County Council, District 11, former State Senator Shirley Smith. So come on out and get some drinks. It's on me. And then also on next Wednesday, come on out, bring your aunties, all the seniors like me, okay? And come and get some free pancakes again to meet former State Representative Shirley Smith, who's running for Cuyahoga County District 11. This is our job in the beauty industry. We have to get politically involved, get behind your candidates, and let's do something wonderful and great. So in the meantime, y'all know what we say when we're signing out, right? We always talk about a whole lot of peace, right? A whole lot of love, right? And a whole lot of hair. And remember, if you ain't got it, you don't want it, you can't stand the hair, you plan on cutting it off, it doesn't matter because all that is beautiful too. And so are you. Thank you guys so very much for rocking it out with us. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Love, peace, and hair grease. Sure, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl, Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
It was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.